Hello, everyone. I just got done wrapping up Solo Leveling Season 2, as you can see, and I wish to talk about Solo Leveling Season 2 and a little bit of Solo Leveling Season 1 and talk about my thoughts and feelings and determine if this show is a must watch. And honestly, spoiler alert, it's definitely a must watch. So, Soul Leveling Season 2, Arise from the Shadows, is a brand new season to come out of winter 2025 by A1 Picture Studios. This bad boy was arguably the most highly anticipated show to come out of this year, of this season, and for good reason. Because, for one, it was at the number one spot for the most highly anticipated show to watch for the winter 2025 season. Two, this is under A1 Picture Studios, which given A1 Pictures Studios and what they're super known for as of late, they are known for coming up with some of the biggest, most talked about, and most iconic, I would even say iconic shows to come out over the past 10 to 20 years. And as you can see, I've changed up a little bit of what they have displayed at the moment, but if you know these shows from as I'm scrolling down, you know how big this show and this studio is well known for crafting. So, given the A1 Pictures, what they're known for, we already know it's going to be a smash hit regardless of what's going to happen. And that definitely came to us with the first season of Soul Leveling, which came out last year. And this first season was absolutely good. It was definitely refreshing for its time, and it definitely had a really good, like, come up to stage type of moment where we see, or again, if you've seen Soul Leveling Season 1, you know how the story goes, where it's about Sung Ji Woo, who was born in this world with powers. But the way the world that he lives in is different because in this world there are different ranks when it comes to heroes, and all stems from gates that start appearing in the real world, and as a result, they need to recruit hunters to stop these gates. And the hunters can rank from S tier to E tier, which is the lowest rank that our main protector Sung Ji Woo is at. And throughout this, we see a pretty big split divide between S, A, B, C, all the way to E. And Sung Ji Woo was known as the weakest hunter. And ultimately, one day within the first couple episodes of this first season, a horrible tragedy struck where there was a double dungeon quest. But this double dungeon was not only a horrible sad way to go out, but it was like a weird, interesting way to like have the story progress and Song Ji Woo's story to finally be awoken and begin. And as a result, in these 12 episodes from the first season, we see Song Ji Woo go from this first iteration of his character to what we know him as now, especially throughout the second season. And I think my main criticisms about the first season was that in the first season we had a lot of moments where it was focused on Sung Ji Woo, but not really a lot towards the side characters or the other S class heroes that was peppered throughout the whole first season. And that's actually one of the valid criticisms to why the show wasn't like fully critically acclaimed at the time. But one thing that definitely stood out about the show, and this is something I'm going to pass over to when we get done with the second season, is that the animation of the show got better and better with each new episode that came every single week, and you could tell that it was a result of Song Ji-woo getting stronger, progressively getting stronger, and stuff like that is like really good highlights, really good shout outs. And again, in for this show to come out back in 2024, this was definitely up there as one of my favorite animes of the year. And given now that I've given everything I love about season one, we go into season two. Which season two, I gotta say right now, right off the bat, this second season took all the little problems that happened from the first season, but elevates the second season to a whole new level to the point that this is like a night and day difference from the first season to the second season. It's crazy, and I don't even know where to begin with this thing because, for starters, the animation on the show is as amazing, as crisp, as clean as the final episodes of season one, but now it's like extended. It's consistent throughout these 13 episodes. And I don't know how A1 Pictures did it, considering that this is a Marvel adaptation, keep in mind you. And I don't know how they pull it off where the animation for a lot of the fight sequences and everything is reminiscent of shows like Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 that came out not that long ago, which was touted as like one of the best animated shows of 2023. Or even shows like The Eminence and Shadows where it takes that overpowered protagonist but kind of goes in like that weird goofy direction but simultaneously giving us like the best quality animation that you would want in a power trope anime of this caliber. And it's interesting that again, Soul Leveling Season 2 really has come a long way from the first season, that it blows a lot of the other shows that have come out, even just alone from the beginning of this year and the past couple years, out of the water. This second season can really stand on its own 2 feet with the amazing fight sequences, Sung Ji-woo's continuation of his story being the main part, and the final moments of the show that really stood out to me. So again, and in this second season, they fixed the one thing that I mainly criticized, which was they didn't put too much emphasis on the side characters to the S class heroes that were peppered throughout the first season, but it wasn't explored further enough. The second season, it gets explored really, really well. Not all the S class heroes, obviously, but they explored the main S class heroes and what they're known for, what their intentions are, and if we're gonna like them or not in the long run. And believe me when I say that obviously the biggest highlight of this second season is the raid event arc with the island of the giant ants. And that arc was absolutely amazing. It is incredible. And again, I think this is already a spoiler at this point, but the big fight climactic battle between Sung Ji Woo and the Ant King is gonna go down as one of the best fighting scenes to come out of 2025 because it is that memorable, it is iconic, it is just all around everything you want in like a shonen nuts to butts fight anime ever. And again, I could go on with how great even the music, the sound of this show is, and everything about it. And overall, I can't really say anything else about the show that I'm complaining about. I'm absolutely in love with this show. It is amazing. I think if there's one thing I definitely want to poke at is a little bit of a criticism that I heard from one particular episode in particular. I believe episode 5 is what it is called, where in episode 5 there's a pretty big pivotal scene where if you know how season 1 was playing out, Sung Ji-woo's goal is to essentially help cure his mother from a super bad illness that she's been in a coma in for years. And in this 5th episode, again, this is more or less been spoiled at this point, but I'll warn you anyway. Sung Ji-woo finally gets everything he needs to cure his mother, and once he did that, um, finally, for the first time ever, Sung Ji Woo, in his new body, in his new form, is finally able to shed tears, shed emotions ever since he became super strong with each time he keeps leveling up. And I noticed that in this 5th episode, there was a huge criticism that, this Sung Ji Woo shouldn't be this emotional, he was emotionless, and it kind of ruins the badass character that was built up from up to this point. I guess why not? But I feel like that's just a brain dead take. I feel like this episode was pivotal in being able to make Sung Ji Woo transition from what he's been doing up to this point into like now that he finally has got what he's wanted, he can now focus on being the next greatest hero. And sure enough, in the next few episodes, he surely becomes the next S rank hunter as a result that's recognized throughout the world, throughout all of the hunter associations as a result. And this leads to again a pretty big final moment with the island, the raid island arc being the culmination of what Sung Ju was going for. And ultimately, the final episode of the show, the 13th episode, I would point out, really encapsulates that super, super well. Where now that Sung Ji Woo has gotten everything he's wanted, he's being this horrible raid event, which is raid event that's been plaguing everybody's mind since the first season. Now Sung Ji wants to move on to bigger and better things. He wants to start his own guild and actually make sure that he makes a guild that's probably for those who are underpowered and are underestimated. And I like that settlement in the final episode of the show. And while the ending is not like picture perfect for some people, I think this is a really good send off of a show. And if this second season doesn't encourage you to really go and read the manhwa adaptation of the manga, I don't know what else is gonna get you to recommend it, because either way, the art style when reading the manhwa of the manga is absolutely great. It is still amazing, it's still crisp, clean, nice, and again, a lot of highlights, a lot of memorable moments, a lot of Aurora moments to get the people like ooh, like having goosebumps all of a sudden. And yeah, Solo Leveling Season 2 Arise from the Shadows is undoubtedly a must watch. There's, again, a ton of other things I could talk about with the show that's like super big, super iconic, and just like a reason like, why are you staying here? Go watch Soul Leveling. Like, it's super freaking good. I can't say much else about it. Maybe there might be some complaints here and there about Solo Leveling, but I just can't seem to find much, if not a lot of things to complain about the second season compared to when it came out the gate with the first season. So yeah, Solo Leveling season two is amazing. It's great. The characters in the show has been elevated. The new power levels that Sung Ju keeps hitting with each as the episodes progress have been amazing, and I think that this is gonna go down as one of the best animes come out of 2025, and it's kind of like a interesting little food for thought that hey, Soul Leveling from when it first came out last year had a lot of potential and had showcased what it was gonna be, and to finally see it fully realized in the second season is really great, absolutely amazing. So I'm blown away by this show. I truly, truly am. I actually would be down to give this a light to decent 9. It's not a 10. It could be a 10, but as of right now, this thing is like a super close to breaking that 10 out of 10 anime. But without a doubt, if you love shonen anime, if you love like power rising anime where you have the protagonist known for like super weak and they become stronger over time, this is a show that you must watch. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about Soul Leveling Season 2, and I hope that this video can recommend you to watch Soul Leveling in general. But yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Later.